Good evening, this is Brian Rowley. Today we're going to go over how to submit an image of your book cover for inclusion on the Palm Springs Writers Guild website. That's interesting because we're actually looking at an image and not a website. So let's go have a look at this. Here is my website, and this one is where you'd get my contact information, so you can call me, send an email to mousehelp@roselle.com. But here is what we are trying to accomplish. This is the Palm Springs Writers Guild website, and you're looking now at the member. Let me drop that in so we don't get. There we go. Now this is the member books page on the website. Each of these images is exactly 106 by 160 pixels wide and high, and so here we're going to talk about that. This is what we're trying to do here. So the issue at hand is to send an image. Send an image of your book cover in the proper size. This is the proper size, and that should say something like per inch, maybe. I don't know. We'll see that in our lesson. So here's the point: 106 by 160 at 72 pixels. And along with that, you want to submit a URL so we can buy your book. Someplace that sells your book, find a URL and include that. You can only submit 2 books, and of course you must be a member in good standing. And this is my email address. And I am Brian Rowley at Roselle Enterprises, as I said. So here we go. That's 2 minutes of introduction. Let's get it done. We're going to use a utility called ImageResizeForPSWG right there. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the video or the image editing software, and this is the image that's open currently. So let's see, let's open an image that we need for this purpose. Is called Penniless Hearts, and if I open it up, it will, let me put it in the frame for you. There you go. Here's the frame, here's the image. You can see the software at the bottom here is telling you that it's 1800 by 2700 and 24 bits per pixel, I think is what that means, but you can see the size of it is quite large also. So what we need to do is to resize and resample that image. So it's under the image menu here, you see resize, resample. So when we choose that, when you first come into ImageResizeForPSWG, these boxes will be checked. It'll say preserve aspect ratio and adjust DPI based on new sizes, so it tries to retain the aspect ratio here. What I want to do is go ahead and turn both of those off, because I'm going to set my size to exactly 106 by 160, and I'm going to tell my software to make that 72 dots per inch. And when I say OK, what happens is, well, it shrinks the image, and you'll notice that the size of this image is pretty much the same size. Well, it's exactly the right size for this because that's what we're doing. So it's exactly the same size as each of these. Now I'm going to save my new image. So I'm going under File, Save As. I'm going to give it a name that makes sense for what it is, because it was called Penniless Hearts, and now it's that same name, but I'm going to add this 106 by 160. You have to type that in. If I'm getting that because I already have a copy of it, but so you type in the, for me this is a way to name files, so I know what it is and I know the size of it, and then when I save it, I'm just putting it on my desktop, so I say yes to replace it because I've been through this a few times. That's it. So that was 4.5 minutes of instruction, including a 2-hour introduction. 2 minutes of introduction. So here we are at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. We have our file. All you need to do now, of course, is attach that in an email. Send it to me. You can, please don't send it to this email address, because you're much better off sending it to webeditorpswg@gmail.com. That's where I get all of these files, and it will be very helpful if you just use that email address to send it to me. Again, it's Brian Rowley, Roselle Enterprises. mousehelp@roselle.com. I'm also the editor for the Palm Springs Writers Guild website. That's all I have for you tonight, and I will post another video on how to download and install IrfanView, because I'm sure if you are not a PC user, you probably have some other